Unity on the River. Are you ready to sing? All right, here we go. Put your hands together. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Everybody. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Well, we've been deep in the trenches. Ain't that friendship? It ain't always roses, but everybody knows this. We've been deep in this battlefield. I know just how you feel. We're standing up for us, and I'm gonna be a soldier. You give me hope, hope. You give me strength, strength. I'll give you all I could ever give myself. Always know that I got your back. No matter whatever, as long as we're together. I gotta look at the words. Stand up now, boys. This is our battle cry. Promise you that I'll always try. All we gotta do is stand up now for us. Hey, 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 hey. Let's learn this. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Everybody. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. You give me hope, hope. You give me strength, strength. I'll give you all that I ever give myself. Always know that I got your back. No matter wherever, as long as we're together. We've been through too much time for us to group up. Come on now, let's stand up now for us. This is our battle cry. Promise you that I'll always try. All we gotta do is stand up now for us. Here we go. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Again. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Sing it. You give me hope, hope. You give me strength, strength. I'll give you all that I ever give myself. Always know that I got your back. No matter wherever, as long as we're together. We've been through too much time for us to group up. Come on and let's stand up now for us. This is our battle cry. Come on now, I'll always try. All we gotta do is stand up now for us. You give me hope, hope. You give me strength, strength. I'll give you all that I ever give myself. Always know that I got your back. Don't matter wherever, as long as we're together. We've been through too much time for us to group up. Come on and let's stand up now for us. This is our battle cry. I'm that I'll always try. All we gotta do is stand up now for us. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. One more time. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah. Whoa, you guys. That's a lot of fast words. All right. This is a call and response. We're going to shine our light into the darkness because there always is love in there. Lucas, are we hearing this? No. we have Surely the Presence. Stand as you are able.
Let us pray. Surely the presence of the Lord is here in the embodiment of each and every one of us. Indeed, we are the face of God, the heart of God, the compassion, the kindness, the very essence of all that is. And as we start a new year, we embrace this as another invitation simply to show up as God, to be the divine in every circumstance, to be love in every moment. This is our invitation, and to this we say yes. Yes, yes. And so it is, and so let it be. Amen and amen. You may be seated. Good morning and Happy New Year. If we've not had the chance to meet yet, I am Reverend Ogun Holder, Senior Minister here. So thrilled that you are spending this time with us. Thrilled also to share the stage with today's facilitator, very own Michelle Gallant. Thank you, Michelle, for helping us out today.
Good morning and welcome to Unity on the River. Happy New Year, everyone. It's going to be a great year. So I'd like us first to welcome our streamers, say hello to those who are at home, comfy, and from all around the world. So we're happy to have you join us today. Also, is there anyone here who is visiting with us for the first time? If you could just please raise your hand. There's someone here. Welcome. Anyone else? And another over here. We're very happy to have you join us today. Our ushers are bringing you a flower and a welcome packet. There is a card in the welcome packet that you can complete and bring to the Spiritual Resource Center out near the bookstore. And that flower gives you 10% off in the bookstore. So have a little fun shopping for yourself today after service. We bless you and we thank you so much for coming. Please know that we welcome all paths to God and that your presence here really enriches us. Unity on the River is a center of celebration, inspiration, transformation, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. Please hold these truths in your heart as we say together our mission and vision statement. Our mission: we are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And our vision: centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. I have a few announcements for you. On Saturday, January 26th, it's not the 6th, as it says in the bulletin, because that's today. It's on Saturday the 26th. We have Compassionate Communication with Gina Genest. And it's a unique opportunity to learn skills to resolve difficult conversations and conflict with greater ease and confidence. You want to raise your hand, Gina. If anybody has any questions, you can speak with her. If you are considering running for the board or serving on the board, you do need to take that class as a requirement for being on the board. New Member Sunday is coming on January 20th. If you believe you are eligible, please, or have any questions about what you would need to do to be eligible, please see Peter Stringham after the service at the Spiritual Resource Center. He can answer any questions. Then the following week on the 27th, we have our annual meeting. So please plan to stay and hear about the new board members, our 2019 budget, and discussing options for our property. So it'll be an important meeting. Make sure you're here for that. And now it's the time in our service where we greet each other in love, either a handshake or a hug. I invite you to say, Namaste. I see you. I see your magnificence.
Is everybody awake? We're awake? Are we awake, awakening to our divinity this Sunday morning yet? Have we had our coffee? Okay, so let's take a breath, please, with me. Not what I've done, I am. Not what I've become, I am. Not anything to show, I am. Not anything I have to know. Not my house or my car, I am. Not my story or my scars, I am. Nothing to be done, I am. No wars to be fought or much more than I know, I am. So much more than I ever show, I am. The universe and stars, I am. Forever and beyond and beyond, I am away.
Thank you, Meg. So, I know you thought we were all done with Christmas. You know, we had Christmas, New Year's, Burning Bowl, all that stuff. And here we are, and we still got these three guys hanging around with us. For those of us who came up in more traditional Christian contexts, you know that today is Epiphany Sunday. Today is, if you've been keeping count, the 12th day of Christmas. What did we get on the 12th day of Christmas? 12 what? Drummers drumming, right? Wasn't it 12 drummers drumming? Steve, it's your day, man. You should know this. There you go. Come on, man. Keep up. But 12th day of Christmas. Traditionally, this is when we recognize this as the day the wise men visited the baby Jesus. We really don't know what day that happened. We do know it was sometime after the birth, which was always my thing about why are the wise men in the nativity scene? They weren't at the birth, they came later. So today is that day we recognize it, but you also call it Three Kings Day as well. Tres Reyes for the Spanish speakers in the crowd. I got you, Malik. I got you. Whatever he said. So there's a lot surrounding the visit of these three magi. Actually, there are many theories as to who they actually were. Most people speculate they might have been Zoroastrian priests who divined Jesus' birth through their astrological studies. And they're an interesting addition to the story because if you take them out of the Christmas story, the rest of the story kind of makes sense. It's localized, it happens in a certain place in Israel. All the characters are from there, surrounding there. There's this prophecy that's really not about Jesus, but you can look back in the scriptures and make it about him. We talked about all this at Christmas. And then suddenly, like out of left field, come these three characters who are totally out of place from anything else that's happened, totally unexpected. They show up, they drop off some stuff, and they head out. Right? It's kind of a weird input into the story that comes out of nowhere. But it's really I think a fun piece of the story that really helps us realize that story it's bigger than the localized event that it was. Just as when we awaken to our Christ nature, it's bigger than just us and our lives. When we awaken to our Christ nature, we are not just transforming ourselves. We are given a gift to the world around us, and influencing the transformation of those around us. This is sort of what the story of the wise men represent for us metaphysically. If you're new or newish to Unity in any way, shape, or form, you know that, or maybe you don't know, so I'm telling you, that we when we read the Bible and the Bible stories, they're interpreted metaphysically. Again, every character in the story represents part of our own transformation. So for us, the wise men in the story represent an awakening of sorts, another awakening. They come from the east. The east represents our consciousness. They follow the star. The star represents our intuition. And the wise men themselves and the gifts they brought represent really like a maturation of spirit within us. So when you look at this whole story, what it's really representing is within us, we allow, through our intuition, to mature in spirit from the deep wisdom of our Christ consciousness. And I mean, this is our journey. This is a daily journey. This is a weekly, a monthly journey. And many of us, and I'm throwing myself under the bus as part of the us, sometimes we don't want to trust our intuition. Sometimes we think we're making this all up when we feel that, and sometimes we think it's fear, sometimes we think it's a lot of other things. But yes, we are making it up, and that's okay. when I say we're making it up, I don't mean that that's not real. What I mean is we are co-creating. When we make something up, we're creating it. And this is who we are as spiritual beings. We are creators. We are co-creators with Spirit. We are the channel through which Spirit, divine, God, love, all that is, whatever name you want to call it, is made visible in this world. It's less than a partnership than a coexistence. That's why we put co with co-create. So that's kind of what the wise man's story represents in us and through us. And it's perfect today that it's happening on this day when in Unity we often do what we call a white stone ceremony. Unity doesn't really have a lot of wholesale like traditions and rituals, but the few that we do have seem to happen all within 3 weeks. Like we got, sometimes we do the Christmas Eve 12 hours candlelight service that many of you were part of. It may not have happened here in the past, but it's something Unity churches have been doing as long as I know they've been doing them. We got the burning bowl, and then now we have the white stone. Some churches do a letter from God. We'll be actually doing that a little bit later in the year, just as a little pick-me-up, because many of us set intentions and resolutions at this time of year, and usually by towards the end of February, it's kind of like, oh man, that list isn't going so good. But right on time, we'll be doing the letter from God ritual that kind of puts you back on track a little bit. So stay tuned for that. So all these rituals are bunched together, and I think it's perfect that they're happening when we transition from the end of the year to the beginning of New Year. At around when we're doing that transitioning from darkness to light, from solstice to the brighter days of the year. Again, symbolizing our awakening to ourselves, or awakening to our Christ nature. So like some boosts, some reminders, some practices to say to ourselves, this journey is ongoing. We don't just awaken in one moment. We are always awakening, because there is no end. There is no end to our divinity. There is no end to God. There's no end to the depths of who we are as bearers of Christ consciousness. So today's white stone ceremony is another ritual, is another step in that. It's another way we can awaken ourselves. We're going to spend a lot of time in meditation today. And during this meditation, we're going to set the container for you to hear from and through your intuition. What is that word, image, phrase that represents the transformation that is for you during this year? And like I warned you, how many of you were here for the Christmas Eve candlelight service? So during that time, we had a power invite you to claim it. And I've already heard some stories from some people who said, oh my God, you were right about that warning about like when we invite transformation into our lives, what happens? Well, you get transformed, yes, but what do we know about change sometimes? It's uncomfortable. If we say we want to open up and transform, the universe will answer. And you can't transform and have it be the same as it was before, right? But many of us want this. I want to become enlightened and transformed, but don't change anything. As we know from experience, it doesn't work that way. But it doesn't mean that you are on your own. It doesn't mean you're not supported by each other, and more importantly, by Spirit. It doesn't mean that discomfort that comes with the transformation isn't exactly what needs to be happening. It's exactly what needs to be happening. Exactly what needs to be happening. Today's white stone ceremony comes out of the biblical tradition. There's a verse in Revelation that says, let anyone who has an ear to listen to what the Spirit is saying to the churches. To everyone who conquers, I will give some of the hidden manna, and I will give a white stone. And on the white stone is written a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it. Give you some of the hidden manna. If you remember the story of the Israelites as they left Egypt, led by Moses through the desert. And it was a quick exit. There was no time to prepare food for such a long journey. And they were provided food, manna, food substance that came from heaven. Manna is that which sustains us. So what is going to sustain you this year? This is part of what we will delve into today during this ritual. And it's unique to each and every one of you. And this is the beauty of it. This is the beauty of it. The other beautiful thing about it is that for a lot of you, it's not going to make a lick of sense when you find out what it is. So don't worry about that, though. Don't worry about that. This is a great thing about when Spirit reveals things to us. This is where the trust and the faith comes in. How many of you have ever had some kind of intuitive revelation that didn't make sense at first, and you fought it, and then later on you realize, oh yeah, that's what that meant? How many of you have encountered that? Good, so you're all veterans at this. And for those of you who are rookies, just strap in and trust us. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So, you should all have a stone. If you don't have a stone, please raise your hand. Let the ushers bring one to you. Keep the hands up until you've received the stone and a pencil. And a pencil. We use a white stone. White metaphysically represents a transcendence, a pureness of spirit. Keep those hands up. And I'm going to invite you to write in pencil when you go home. You can use permanent marker. We actually have some permanent markers at the Spiritual Resource Center if you want to do that before you leave today. Just do it in pencil for right now. And take this stone with you today. Some of us who've been here for many years should have a nice collection of these going. Nice collection. And I'm sure those of you who've been here and been through this ceremony before appreciate the power of it. Appreciate the transformative element of it. Appreciate the support and the groundedness, the anchor, the spiritual anchor that this revelation that you might receive today comes. And also a word of compassion. If during this time today, this meditation, nothing comes to you, that's also okay. That is also okay. It comes at the time that it's meant to come. So take the stone with you home and spend some time meditating with it until it comes forth from you. The final thing I'll say before we jump into meditation is to realize that whatever comes to you, whether it's a name you understand, a simple word, even an image or a symbol, that recognizing that taking on a new name, a new identity as part of your transformation is a very common element. When we look at biblical stories in the Old Testament, for example, when Abraham decided to follow God's direction, his name was changed to Abraham. When his wife Sarai was not able to have children, and she put her faith and trust in God and was able to bear them a son, her name was changed to Sarah. In the New Testament, Simon, after he dedicated his life to following Jesus, became Peter. Saul, after he had a transformative experience with Spirit. Yes, it struck him blind, but don't worry about that. I don't think any of that's going to happen to any of you today. His sight was restored, if you're worried. But from then on, he became known as Paul, perhaps one of the greatest authors of New Testament works, one of the first true Christian luminaries. So taking on a new name is part of that transcendence, part of that stepping into the higher, expanded, deeper parts of ourselves. Does everyone have a stone and a pencil? So what I want to invite you to do right now is put everything else aside, off your laps, next to you, under the chair. Plant both feet on the floor. And the only thing I want you to hold in your hand right now is that stone. We're going to take a deep breath as we get some music started. And just for a few minutes, we're going to just center ourselves in this place, right here, right now. First, let's just start by taking a few deep breaths, and if you're comfortable, allowing the eyes to close. And while the eyes are closed, just take a moment to notice the sounds around you, the music. Perhaps you hear the distant car driving by, the child's squeal. You hear your own heart beating. Maybe you hear a creak of a chair as you shift position. Just notice these things as part of where you are right now, in this moment. And then notice your breath as it comes in and it comes out. No one needs to change your pattern of breathing. Just breathe as the body would have you breathe. With each breath, allowing the body to relax further into the chair, the face soften, the shoulders fall. Just let the breath pull you into yourself in this moment. Should you become distracted at any point by a thought, a sound, a sensation in the body, simply notice it without judgment. Breathe into it and return your focus within. Use the breath again to bring you back in. And invite you to envision right at the top of your head, the crown chakra, a white light emanating, slowly spreading from the crown, slowly down, past the ears and eyes. This light continues to cascade down, past the neck and shoulders, follow it down, past the chest, the torso, the stomach. Allow this white light to continue to envelop you, past the waist, thighs, knees. Keep going until you are enveloped, cocooned on all sides by the pure white light from the crown. Allow yourself to feel safe, to feel loved, to feel warmth, to feel the presence of Spirit. This is a holy place within this cocoon of light. It's a place of wholeness, a place of peace. A place where all is well and all is love. A place where worries and fears and concerns and pain cannot reach you. Bask in this white sanctuary of light. And imagine these same feelings and energies are emanating from the stone in your hand. Feel it radiating from the stone through your hands, through your body. The white light from the crown surrounds you, and now it is suffused through your body from the stone. It is the entirety of who you are and all that surrounds you. And now I invite you to listen, not with ears, but listen with the heart, with the soul. Allow the intuition to reveal what is yours to hear, to see, to feel in this moment. Allow it to come forth with ease and grace, not from the intellect or the brain or the mind, but simply from the core of who you are. Let us rest for a few moments in the silence as we allow our intuition to share. Give yourself permission to believe this new spiritual identity and deeper awareness of God as you coming forth. Embody it. It is your God self impressing upon you, revealing yet another aspect of your true holy essence. And if you are ready, I invite you to take the pencil and write what has come to you on the stone. And again, if nothing has come today, simply return to this meditative place with the stone in the future. Allow it to come forth. And be in gratitude, trusting that even if now you do not understand what was revealed, that in time its true meaning will be made known. As we continue this prayerful energy, we extend it to all the names in our prayer box. All these requests of love. We know and we see for these souls an awareness of who they are, an awakening to their true self, their true Christ consciousness, knowing that the answer and solutions to all that they seek are within. And should you hold that for anyone else in your life, I invite you to say their names out loud now. We give thanks for these prayers already answered, and we give thanks for this new revelation of Spirit that has come to us today. Knowing that we continue to awaken to our full divine self. And in so doing, we awaken God to the world. And so it is.
I will give you an everlasting name, an everlasting hope, an everlasting claim on love. On love. I will give you an everlasting name, an everlasting hope, an everlasting claim on love. On love. I will give you an everlasting name, an everlasting hope, an everlasting claim on love, on
Thank you, Reverend Oaken, for that beautiful ritual, and to our music team. I'd like to take a moment to recognize those who are serving as prayer chaplains today. If you could stand as you're able. The prayer chaplains are available to you after the service if you have any type of prayer request or a gratitude that you would like to share with them. All of your prayer requests are held in the strictest of confidence. And please take advantage of that offering after the service. You can also leave prayer requests in the box in the back. We have a dedicated prayer line that you can call as well. And our prayer team and Silent Unity will pray over your request. If you have a need for a home or hospital visit, is anyone here from that team? You can speak with the members of that team if you have someone, or for yourself who, if at any point you're recuperating from something or you're hospitalized, they will come and pray with you. Now is that time in our service where we prepare our tithes and offerings. Let's hold them and bring that beautiful energy from our meditation into our gifts as we repeat our affirmation. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. So would the ushers come forward, please?
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be.
I don't mean to commit heresy, but sometimes the cover might be better than the original. Thank you. Just saying.
Thank you, Brian.
Don't throw your stones at me. So let us go to a place of gratitude, thanksgiving for these gifts. So whether you gave here today, you give online, whether you have a direct donation from your bank account, however you choose to invest in your spiritual community, we are grateful. And in true practice of tithing, we give a portion of these back into the Amesbury community that serves the needy and others, and to the unity movement as well. Therefore, continuing our flow, and so it is, and so let it be. Amen and amen. Amen. Thank you. A couple quick announcements. One, in case you didn't remember, we have potluck after service on today. It's the first Sunday of the month. Every first Sunday is potluck Sunday, and that's going to be out in hospitality. Our usual hospitality volunteers, I understand we're not able to make it today, so if there are any of you who are willing to hang around after that to maybe help clean up and generally help in hospitality, maybe 1 or 2 Sundays a month, we would appreciate it. Talk to Peter at the Spiritual Resource Center when you're done. And while you're over in hospitality, take time to give birthday greetings to one of my favorite congregants who used to be an integral part of our youth and family service, Shannon. Give a wave. Some of you don't know her, but she's back there. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. The other thing I want to share with you today, some of you may already know this, but we're bringing everyone up to speed. At the end of the year, Maura, our music director, did offer her resignation. Yes, we are, as of right now, I've asked Meg to continue. Oh, there you go. Where did Meg go? To simply continue as our interim director. We're going to just take a breath during this transition time and get clear about what's ours to do moving forward long term. So I want to thank Meg for staying in place. Thank you to this amazing music team always for just being that presence. And I do want to personally extend a note of love and gratitude for the years of service that Maura gave to this community, being just the masterful music leader that she was, and really expanding the music presence here and spread on the river. She is going to continue to do what is hers to do. I don't know if you guys know this, but she has her own private music company that continues to simply allow people, some people here actually, to really get in touch with that authentic voice of who they are as singers and musicians. So I wish her all the best in continuing to expand that and do that. And to say thank you for that. And just so we're clear, when I say she's offered a resignation, that's not like polite speak for saying we didn't ask her to return or let her go. That's not what happened. We were simply in the process of like talking about her return, and I think she came to that place of clarity that this was no longer hers to do, as many of us do in many of the roles that we play. We'll speak more about this at our annual meeting in a few weeks if you got any questions around that. But until then, we wish her the best, we wish her love, and more importantly, thank her for the gift that she was to us. And I think Michelle's got some more thank yous for us as well.
It takes so many people to create our service every Sunday and to keep this place going during the week. Particular angels for this week are Nancy, Larry, Joanne, all the bookstore volunteers, and the Christmas undecorating crew, consisting of Edith, Louisa, Jim, Ed, Linda, and Jeff. The teams we're recognizing today are PowerPoint and the folding team and our Unity Choir. Also, I neglected to mention at the beginning that you can watch our services on YouTube at any time. You can go back and watch. You can also download either the SoundCloud app or Spotify and listen to the message again. So we have many ways that you can return to the messages that you hear every week. are there any board members here? If you could stand, please, to be recognized. We appreciate your service. Thank you. And we have a quieter service on Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. This week, the service will be led by Michael Mooney. So please come and support him on Wednesday if you're available. And now our big song, Night Has Turned to Day with Brian.
It's a big song. It's very big. It's about this. I just wanted to say, I don't know how many of you were I'm one of those people that I don't want to say this every year, but 2019 I am looking forward to. That's all I'm going to say. That's the most positive way to look at it. Night has turned to day, night has turned to day, night has turned to day, oh mama now night has turned to day, 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 oh mama now night has turned to day, 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 oh mama now night has turned to day. I was walking in the darkness, I had not yet seen the light. I was swooping with the bad ones, I thought I had won the fight. At the peak of my delusions, I loved money, girls, and cars. Now I'm walking in the sunlight, broken, battered, bruised, and scarred, but I'm so happy. Night has turned to day, night has turned to day, oh mama, no, night has turned to day. Night has turned to day, night has turned to day, night has turned to day, oh mama, no, night has turned to day. In the middle of the conflict between me, myself, and lies, I saw people die for nothing. I served lies to hungry eyes. When I swam deep in the river of my conscience, I defined self-reflection, new direction, to a healthy state of mind I thought I'd never find. Night has turned today, night has turned today, oh no, night has turned today, night has turned today, night has turned today, night has turned today, oh no, night has turned today. But I ain't going back to the work, no, I ain't going back to the work, I ain't going back to the work no more. That's captured all my dreams and happiness. I'm gonna find the highest ground to stand on. 3 lives is enough, child. Whoa! Night has turned today, night has turned today, night has turned today, oh mama, no, night has turned today, night has turned today, night has turned today, night has turned today, oh mama, no, night has turned today, night has turned today, night has turned today, night has turned today, oh mama, no, night has turned today. Night has turned today, night has turned today, night has turned today, oh no, night has turned today.
Thank you, Brian. Let's stay standing as we welcome in our youth and family ministry. We are walking as the light.
We are walking as the light. We are walking as the light of God. We are walking as the light of God. We are walking as the light of God. We are walking. We are walking as the light of God. We are walking.
Thank you. You may be seated.
I'm practicing the presence. Thank you. I'm practicing the presence. Thank you. So today, instead of doing our own thing, we did pretty much the exact same thing you guys did in here. So it's good to be one with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. So I'm going to invite you to stand at this point in time. Take the hand of your neighbor.
and affirm the truth for our children, for ourselves, for this entire planet. Yes, there is peace on earth, and it begins with each and every one of us. Let there be peace on earth. Happy New Year to all.